Hello, what's up again? This is my second video of the day, and I thought I'd get it going right now because I had a new idea. I'd like to make this video kind of like as a dual video, both for this page and for my my page that's meant to help people get over psoriasis, and I'll put a link for that in the video sometime. Maybe not today because I have a lot going on, but I will post it today. So the idea for this video is about two reasons why I think things go wrong, and people have issues, either if it's with health or with life or whatever in general. And this applies to psoriasis as much as it applies to personal development, as much as it applies to living a rich experience. So, like I said, only two ways. Number one is gonna be your addiction to something, and number two is going to be your belief in avoidance of something. So one is like running too close or too hard towards something, and then the other is running too hard away from something. And those two things, I feel like, create most of the imbalances and issues in life. Because, for example, if you just have someone who just floats and goes with the flow, naturally they're going to, I mean, if they really do, their body will tell them to stop, and they'll just have a natural aversion to something. Whereas I feel like these two states, being addicted to something, or avoiding something, or having a strong mentality against something, for example, like veganism or something, or religious belief, which is not, I'm not batting on it, I'm just saying that sometimes it has very structured things saying, oh, this is bad. Both of them create imbalances, just other nature, because to be in balance would just to be go with what you're gonna flow into naturally. And so there's definitely space for you to, so there's a lot to this. I don't know if I'm going to be able to cover it all in this one video, but there's a lot of layers to it. So it is okay to structure your life and control aspects of it, and go towards some things and go away from other things. But while doing that, it's important to keep in mind the overall balance and keep a finger on the pulse of what's going on inside of you. This is especially true for your skin. For example, if you have skin issues, if stuff is popping up on your skin, for example, psoriasis, eczema, yada yada yada, or if you've had this, it's from an imbalance somewhere in your life that has not been corrected. So sometimes it's something that's under your direct control, like the food you eat, and even that is up for debate whether it is under your control or not. But for the sake of this video, we're gonna say it's under your control. Or things that are indirectly under your control, like your environment or your emotions and how they come. So to get back on track with what I was saying, just to keep the video clear and concise, going to something creates an imbalance in your body. For example, I have a thing where I really like butter. I really love butter, and I'm slightly addicted to that and coffee. And those two things push me, into a direction where I eat a lot of butter, I drink a good amount of coffee, and then up on my scalp I start to see the psoriasis starts to come back again, up here, and like I always know like I'm out of balance because this is the first place that it pops up. No, actually not the first place. It actually more pops up in my will probably pop up in my attitude first, but it's just true. It's how it goes. My attitude is the first thing that goes out of balance, and like I'll start to be like in a weird mood, but then that shows up. So, and then when I get off of both those things, like right now I'm on a 30-day challenge to be dairy free and coffee free. Although right now I'm drinking yerba mate, which is caffeine, but it's not coffee exactly. It's a little bit of a, I don't know, just a different kind. And I think that's a very important point I'll bring up right now too. But when I do that too much, then I get results like the eczema. And it's not a bad thing. I think people like view these issues as a quote unquote bad thing, which is a very poor frame of mind to put them in, because there's nothing you can do about it if it's a bad thing. Like you can like work to get rid of it, the bad thing, but it's not a very functional state. If you look at it more of like a sign, like a indicator on your body, like you would like a check engine light, for example, on your car, or I don't know, like your tires like wearing low and like there being no tread on it. Sure, it's going to have a lot of negative effects, but it's also just saying like, look, dude, you gotta change your tires. So depending on the frame, how you frame it, it could be either good or bad, or functional. Good, bad, or functional. I always prefer the functional personally. Good and bad like are very indescriptive and don't give me much to play with. And I'm all about playing with and adjusting like little things in my life, and seeing how these little things can make big differences, like little things that I invest my time in, or little things that I take out. So back again on me, or for just as an example for you, so the butter and coffee is something that I go towards. Something that and then if you go away from something, if you run away from something, or you avoid something, or you put up walls against something, I think that what it does is it creates an imbalance, in that if that thing that you have a wall up against is supposed to be happening, or not supposed to be, but is like a part of your natural physiology. Like for example, I was vegan for I don't know, a year and a half or something, and it's just like I was like way too skinny for my feeling, and it's okay if you're a vegan or do any of this stuff, but just like keep a tab on your body and watch how you're responding and watch your energy levels and all this stuff. But that was something that I was putting up a wall against, and it wasn't working for me. And so that actually led me to being addicted to things like chocolate, things with iron in it from the meat, or iron comes from, you get a lot of iron from meat, and if you're not having that meat iron, you kind of crave like the chocolate and peanut butter. And I was addicted to chocolate and peanut butter, and then a lot of sugar as well, because my energy just would never be grounded with the meat, because I didn't have any, and I was always just eating nonstop, and that also didn't work for me, especially when I had to start, or when I started working full time. And so the blocking off of stuff creates the imbalance of addiction, or there's some sort of correlation there, maybe not causation, but there's a little correlation. It opens the door for addiction, because you block off stuff that your body is used to having, and then it needs to replace it with something. So yeah, and then excuse me while I drink another cup. It's such a beautiful morning out here. This is actually the earliest I've been up in a while. It's pretty rough because it's almost 10 o'clock. It's the earliest I've been outside. I work nights mostly, so. The walls we put up kind of box us in and limit us as well. I think there's a more intelligent way to go about it. And so here's what I found. Or at least here's my point of view on it. Something that I use as an operating principle in my life. I have values of stuff that I aim for. And I kind of, like, I know what I don't want, but I don't really focus on it. I more focus on the values that I want to stay true to. So, for example, with the food and the meat and stuff, my values are like high quality, organic. If it's meat, it's grass-fed, organic, just like the highest quality that I can get. And that way it just ensures it's like hormone-free, better for the animals, better for me, better for the environment too. Like, that's a big thing. There's a lot of studies about how destructive animals are on the environment, which is true in our current system. Like, it's very destructive. Our current system is just destructive in general. Like, animals aside, humans too. It's a destructive system. But it's also a growth system. I think that's another thing that we don't recognize. We are still in the growth mindset, or the growth frame of mind in our life. If you think about it, or not in our life, I'm sorry, in humanity's existence, all the businesses, what is the main thing that you hear about? Growth. If you want to, like, you have muscle builders, they want growth, or we want, more, like if you're skateboarding, you want to do more tricks and you want to grow as a skater. Everything's really about growth in not only in our society, in our world, and like integration. And I think that the more we fight against that, the stupider we are. I really do. Because you kind of like see these middle of the road people, or these middle of the road attitudes that are like, they're very quick to go like, meh, that is so bad, that is so capitalism, growth, and then like they just take the exact opposite, and it's a very unintelligent point of view. And I know that's a loaded statement, and I probably should explain myself a little bit more. But to go exactly against something else and not take any of the aspects in perspective of what positive it is doing, what it's stemmed from, more or less, and like the perspective of like where we are at as humanity and society, is a very unintelligent point of view, and it's just not descriptive or integrated with the world, because you'll find the same people that complain about that shit, they're driving cars and paying for the gas and they're actually actively participating in all of it, and then they say, oh, I can't, there's no way I can't drive that car. Another stupid thing. But I'm not against driving cars. That's the other thing. I actually really do appreciate getting rides. I love driving. I love renting cars. I love the mobility it has. It's just I don't have one right now. But I really do appreciate it. I appreciate everything. So this stage of humanity that we're in, I think we're in a growth mindset, and that's what people don't understand. So what did this have to do with what I was talking about? Everything and nothing. This was for the psoriasis channel. So yeah. I'm starting to feel all goofy and disorganized. It could be all the yerba mate I'm drinking, but so relating it back to you, which I probably should have done in the first place. If you look at what you're most addicted to, what you want to do the most, and what you do most consistently, and then look at what you avoid the most, and maybe see if there could be any causation or correlation to, any indicators that you're experiencing, like psoriasis or any disease or anything like that. See if that's causing any of it, and that would be a good place to start. Past that first level of addiction, and then addiction and restriction. That's a good thought. I like that. Addiction and restriction. Past that, there's just unconscious not knowing, and that probably creates a lot more toil than the addiction and restriction. But what I find is that people, it's less nowadays that people have not knowing issues. It's more the addiction and restriction issues, and lack of application of what they do know. Because everyone, if you go to someone and tell them, well, you should eat healthy, you should probably exercise a little bit more, get more sleep, they're going to nod and say yes, but they're not going to apply it. This is probably because they're addicted to watching late night TV. Not gonna get myself out of this one. They're also addicted to, or they could also be addicted to caffeine, which could be keeping them up. Various other things, and that's actually where the lack of knowing comes in, is because they don't connect that these are the reasons why this is happening. And so maybe just play a little Sherlock Holmes on yourself, and figure some stuff out, and then live a good life. That's what you got to do. All right, thank you again. Have a good day.